Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Vibrations of Truth. I am Jen Smith, along with Michelle Bowen, and today we're going to be talking about moving through fear, risk taking, and how do we do this to move forward with our dreams? Why, moving through fear with these passionate actions is really how we move ourselves one step closer. How does this work energetically? And so today we're going to be talking with Michelle because she's here to kind of live her transformation for everyone, what she's learning and how she's feeling. And so, Michelle, let's get started with that. How are you this morning?
I'm doing really well. Thank you. Thank you so much for asking. I feel good. Ready to talk about this topic because it's such um, I guess, an intense thing for me. Fear, overcoming fears, pushing past the fears to get what you want, to get to the other side of that, and have the things that you desire is a really difficult thing sometimes, or can be for most people. Sometimes it stops people in their tracks. So I just really wanted to share some of the things I'm learning um, as I'm going through
Yeah.
that process.
Yeah, so we started the process with developing a big goal, a big dream to really focus on throughout the entire coaching program, which is 6 months, really looking at what limited beliefs we have, what's stopping us from moving towards our dream. And there's some really big dreams out there, right? Some really big dreams, and I love it. I love working with people on this because you're able to achieve anything that you believe you can. And it's really, really working on what are these limited beliefs? What are these paradigms that we have within our subconscious mind uh, that we've inherited throughout our life, that we allowed ourselves to believe? One, as children, right, from the time we were born to about 7, and then maybe what we've continued to believe throughout our life. So it does take some time to really dive into who we are as beings, to learn what our nature is, to explore bigger and better. And once we start internalizing that, knowing that anything is possible, because we know that, right?
Right.
Anytime we see anybody doing anything, we can do that as well. And even much more than that. There's so much we can do as spiritual beings. It's phenomenal. So I hope everyone's dreaming big out there. I can't imagine not being a dreamer. I think I've always been a dreamer. But
Yeah.
now it's like even bigger knowing what that there's the possibilities are limitless. It's just infinite possibilities. So now we're at this stage where we've got these ideas, we know what we're capable of doing, but we may have some underlying programs within our subconscious mind that we're working against, and this is what causes that vibration, that psychological fear within us, is that these subconscious programs that are running are a little more of a um, energy that's, I would say, a lower consciousness energy that is vibrating a little bit lower. But our dream on the conscious level is so big and vibrating so high that now you have these two uh, clashing, conscious, subconscious, and that's creating that fear. So it's really we're creating it on our own because there's nothing to fear or no one to fear. So that's kind of the stage we're at now, right? And how do you move through that fear?
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about what you're thinking right now, some things that you've done to move through that.
Yeah. So for me, I feel like it's crazy sometimes just how you go through life, and um, I'm not thinking like the thoughts of like, oh, this is impossible, the goals that I have set for myself. I don't really think that it's impossible. I think that I can do it. I'm working and actively moving towards it, but for some reason my body responds a completely different way, and like all of this anxiety will come up inside of me, and it's just such a disconnect. But I think it's what I'm kind of feeling like it is just layers and layers of conditioning and old belief systems, and having to remove those and push through those has been really interesting for
Yeah,
me.
so let's
So
dive into that a little bit. You talk about the anxiety coming
yeah,
up, right? What
yeah,
let's give a little value to people who are listening to us. When that anxiety bubbles up, that's like
mhm,
this the energy of these of your subconscious mind coming to the surface, which is what we're trying
yeah,
to do is come to the surface so we can clear it. So when you
yeah,
recognize that anxiety is there, what are some tips and tricks that you're using right now?
yeah. For me personally, a lot of it is just acknowledging it, and not trying to ignore the fact that it's there, because I think it just wants to be acknowledged,
Mhm.
right? And you know, subconsciously, I guess, or inner child, or whatever that might be, you just want to feel safe. Those things come up as sort of warning signals. If you're moving beyond your comfort zone and it in your body just wants to keep you safe, there doesn't have to be the thoughts attached to that, because I really don't feel like they connect anymore. But I think the beliefs in the subconscious are so deep that it's just naturally happening, automatically happening. So when those things happen, and they do, um, it's really just like stopping, acknowledging that, breathing, doing some breath work, and moving through it by just trying to be as present as possible.
Mhm.
And I generally just talk to myself, do some self talk,
Sure.
because I really want to feel comfortable with the things that I'm doing.
I love that. So
Um,
you've named several of them. One is the self-talk, the inner dialogue. That's the word that is the word when people study things and then the word is your word, like your inner dialogue. So that's good. So the inner dialogue, giving yourself affirmations, giving yourself a little pep talk, beautiful. Breath work, that clears energy. And being present, being in the now space. These are things that you named and wonderful tools because whenever you can be completely present, that just releases any other energetics that are within your energy field. So I love that
yeah,
you named all those. There's multiple tools that we learn, in the class. There's so many, and I just choosing a few that resonate um, with you is, sounds like that
yeah,
you've got that all lined out, so that's awesome.
yeah. Yeah, I think I'm more surprised, honestly, at how much it's coming up. I feel like it comes up the more that I move in a direction that is not known to me, or not really comfortable. I think the more that it happens,
Mhm.
um, and the more I have to just kind of try to allow that, and just keep pushing. I feel like taking risks like that really dissolves, or kind of forces you to interrupt the patterns, right, of how you normally operate, and being present all the time, helping you respond in real time to what's going on. A lot of those old beliefs and things are attached to the past, right, or things
Mhm.
that are no longer happening in your reality, but your body still responds as though it's got to keep you safe from those things. And so I think that it's just it's just a challenge sometimes. So I'm just allowing really for it to be my teacher, trying not to, fear and all of those things of trying to protect me, and guard help me to guard myself or whatever. But I think just pushing through that is just helping me to sort of release all of those old stories and layers. A lot of things that come up they're not true for me anymore, and probably they were never true, if I'm being honest.
Mhm.
Like, the things that I believe, they were never true, but I did identify with them for most of my life. So I think and I'm up there in age, so like that's a long time. It's a long time that those things have been a part of me. um, I think I'm just trying to learn to trust more, I think,
Mhm.
in my own intuition, my own intuition, I feel like being present is the way to do that and to really connect with myself and my body. My body always has told me things, my gut has always told me things. So I think just being able to separate that out and just trusting my intuition, trusting that in divine timing and guidance, just kind of surrendering to all of that.
Yeah. Trust is huge. Trust is trust you've got all the answers within you. So that's trusting your intuition is really, really key,
Right.
regardless of what anybody else is doing or saying, trust your own intuition.
Mhm.
And I feel like
Yeah.
that's a lesson that comes up over and over again in life, and paying attention to when you don't trust it and when you do trust it. And eventually you just kind of land on like, okay, I'm trusting my intuition because that's the way. That's
Yeah.
the only way to go, right? You talked
Yeah.
about your body has always given you signals, and that's the other thing we learn is our body is an instrument of the mind. So our body is here to provide us with those signals of, hey, something's going wrong, something's not quite right. That's why I'm so into natural energy healing, because sometimes our society will just band-aid problems and take medications where then you're not even using your system, the guidance that you have with your body to let you know what's going on. And so I'm glad that you mentioned that, because we always have those signals, always.
Right. I feel like most of my life I'm a pretty intuitive person, and have just really stomped that down or squelched that or ignored it just because I want other things, or I think something isn't is not aligned with the things that I think are good for me. And it's gotten me some places that I really wasn't happy about. So to be able to just truly listen and go with that, even if I don't completely understand it, it's kind of a cool experience for me. Just making, it just may be leading you in a place or guiding you somewhere else that you're just really didn't plan. But if you follow it, what I'm learning is it's going to lead you to what you need. So that's been kind of cool for me.
So following it in a way of putting action out on the physical plane,
Yeah.
right? Because that's the way
Yeah.
to get that energy moving, is to put passionate action towards what your dream is. And we always talk about, you don't have to know how to get to your big dream, because many times we will you know we will eliminate things because of our brain. Our brain will say, oh, we can't do this or we can't do that. We squash some of our possibilities. So we say, just, what do you want? What do you want? You don't have to know how to get it. But the first thing is just put action towards it. Just a small action moves a lot of energy. So are you putting action towards your dream?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I am. And it's unfolding. So I still feel like there's so many unknowns. There definitely are so many unknowns. But oddly, I feel okay with that. So I'm just trying to take one day at a time, one step at a time, and kind of move and see what opens up. I know where I want to be. I'm doing what I can do in order to intentionally move in the direction that I want to go. And then, day by day, little by little, like things are coming.
So
coming
where do you
around.
think the fear is? Because you said that you're taking the action. So you have ideas that come to you
Yeah.
that you can take now to move towards your dream.
Yeah.
That's moving a lot of energy. That you're okay with the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another fear that people have. They don't know, like they want to plan everything out, but you are okay with that. So what is the fear? What is the fear that's coming up for you?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I feel like, as I said before, like my mind and my body are just not connecting. It's just such an internal things like, safety, financial safety, stability, things like that, that my body's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why would you release that? Why would you, why would you change up things in your life so drastically?
Those are the
With
two biggest things that hold people back is how am I gonna make money at doing what I love? Which,
Yeah,
um and then the other thing is, what are people going to think about me? So if you can eliminate either one of those things and
yeah,
really it goes back to trust. Trust, trust,
yeah.
trust. And, yeah, so
That's That's another one. That isn't a, I'm honestly, I mean, when you say it, I recognize it. I know it's there and it's something I'm going to bump up against. And to be very honest, I'm just not sharing with most people right now the things that I'm doing. And mostly because, I'm not 100% sure. So, you start talking and saying, yeah, I'm just going to trust that all this stuff is going to work out, and people think you're nuts, and or they think whatever. I don't want the negative interference for myself. If I'm being honest, I don't want to. I mean, it'll all eventually be talked about and everything else. I just want to. I think I'm just giving myself permission to do what I need to do for me, and that's not a typical thing, right? That's not normal for
Mhm.
me. Um, I'm following the things that I want in my life right now, and I've not typically done that. So it's going to probably create some waves, um, and that's okay. It is okay. I just want to be solid, I think, in what I'm doing and feeling, and keep moving no matter what. So there'll be those bumps. There'll be those things that I'm bumping up against. That'll be a big one, but I feel less about that, honestly, than I do about the other stuff. So we'll see. I just don't want the negative influence. As much as I can, keep that at bay, I will. But it'll eventually happen.
Um, is that a belief? Is that a belief?
Yeah,
Why would you believe there's gonna be negative influence?
yeah, yeah. That's a good question. Dang.
There's a lot of things.
Dang. Yeah. Yes, it is a belief. Yeah. I mean, you got me on that for real. I think it's, shoot, man. Um, this is how it's been all my life. And so what am I doing right now? What am I doing? I am basing that off of all of past things, and it doesn't have to be true. It doesn't have to be true anymore. But mm, thanks, Jen. This is the journey, folks. Like, this is the journey. So you don't realize. Oh, you're frozen.
Oh, I think we are back on. We got disconnected there for a little
Okay.
bit. So now we're on opposite sides here. So, um, oh, we were saying there were a few things that were identified just through
Yeah.
that discussion. All right, can you hear me?
You're a little delayed, but I can see you smiling. You just asked. So I don't know what the last thing was. You had just called me out, and yeah, you just called me out on a belief. And honestly, like that's, I mean, it is what it is. That's another something to work through for sure.
So let's talk about the passionate actions. So you are going forward with actions because that really gets energy moving, and that gets you moving towards what you want. Because there's a lot of work with, thinking about it and really visualizing it, getting yourself in a high vibration. But then you got to put action towards it because you got to get that energy move through your body, moving towards that timeline that you want to be on. So let's talk about your passionate action.
Okay. Like specifically what I'm doing, because you're frozen again. I'm not sure if you can hear me. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, outside of like my daily, like picturing this, imagining it, seeing all the circumstances that I'm doing all the time, it's really just taking steps in a day, whatever that might be, to actively work towards the bigger picture. So my bigger picture is pretty broad, and it has multiple elements to that. Not everything in that has been revealed to me yet or is defined, but one thing is. And so the one thing that I'm doing is moving towards that. I feel like the other things will start unfolding kind of as I move. And that's what I'm just trusting to happen. So, but in the meantime, I do have a part of it. And that part of it, I am trying to do something every single day in order to, make it come into fruition. So.
Good.
Yeah.
Good for you. And then with the passionate actions towards your dream, but then you also have actions throughout the day where you really want to keep yourself in a high vibration. And what's been coming up for me over this last week and the people that I'm working with is really, what do you enjoy doing? Like, keep your vibrations high, right? Keep your vibration high in what you enjoy doing. It seems like I work with people, or have talked with people, and they talk about not liking their job and how miserable it is. I'm like, well, to me, that seems pretty crazy. Why would you keep doing that? You can't stay in a high vibration and manifest all the good to you if most of your day you're not liking. So, and then, just telling people, what do you enjoy doing? Go do that. It can be very simple. What was it? What was the words that were coming to me is joyful simplicity. Joyful simplicity. So it can be anything. Like, what is it that you enjoy doing? So do you incorporate those things into your life as well? Because you're not going to have all the actions to lead to your dream. You're going to have a few, and then you see what unfolds after that. Then you get the next step, right? How do you spend your days?
Yeah. So my days are a little different right now than they would normally be because I'm currently not working. I'm on medical leave, so that looks a little different for me. It's allowed me some freedoms that I don't normally have, but it's been ideal, honestly, for lots of reasons. But my main goal, honestly, when I started working with you and when I created the big goal, was all about joy. I don't want to move through my life without doing things that bring me joy every day, little, big, whatever that might be. I just want to be able to experience that, things that move me, that are, make my heart feel good, help other people. And, I love music. So like, to me, having my music, having dancing time, having time to study, because I love studying different things and reading and learning and stuff, like time with my children, like all the things that bring me joy. Sometimes I think I've even shared this with you, just being outside and watching like the wind blow through the grass or whatever, where you just feel super present and thankful and grateful for all the things that are around you and the magic in life and the magic in all of the creations, that are around you. And that brings me joy. So it doesn't have, it could be small, it could
Yes.
be little things. Sometimes I'd climb into my bed, Jennifer, and I was just like, this is the best. This is the best. Thank
Well, I
you.
think really,
Thank
I
you for
think what you're
yeah.
touching upon is being very balanced, right? So, because I know some of the things you enjoy too is the meditation and the messages that you get
Yeah.
there, but then also
Yeah.
enjoying and fully being present while we're walking on this 3D planet and enjoying
Yeah.
all the small things and large things that life has to offer. So, I love that balanced
Yeah.
approach. Um, and it is fun. It's kind of like this morning, I kind of look at it as instead of just getting up and going through the day with all these action items, like maybe what we used to do whenever we were, for me anyway, speak for myself in the corporate world, is like, oh, the to-do items would pop in my head right away. Now it's like, I wonder what messages are waiting for me. And then I go into meditation and see what that is. And
Yeah.
then I get up and I enjoy my day here and
Yeah.
expect magic,
Yeah.
right?
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do love that too. I do love that other the side when a lot of times um, my messages and things that come to me are coming to me when I'm, in bed or sleeping or kind of in that dream state
Mhm.
or on the verge of it or whatever. And so I think I do get, I also get excited about that.
Mhm.
Those are fun experiences. They're special in a lot of ways. Yeah,
And
I
really
like it.
just being in the flow is a wonderful feeling, right? You're just allowing everything to flow, the energy to flow through your body too. And that's when
Yeah,
inspiration comes in. And sometimes you get these inspirational ideas that just seems like they come from nowhere, out of the air, right? Big
right.
ideas like, "Oh, that's what I need to do next," or, not even f not only from the, spiritual world, but whenever you're out and about, doing whatever you're enjoying doing for the day, you get messages that way too, through people, through situations.
Mm.
Um, we're always guided in so many different ways, so many different ways. It's becoming aware of that guidance and trusting yourself and moving forward with it.
Yeah,
Any other thing that you'd
good
like to
reminder.
add before we go today?
I just think the one thing that just kind of a big takeaway for me is that when you're out of your comfort zone, um, you learn that you're capable of more. Your abilities come that you didn't even realize that you had
Mhm.
because you're learning something new or moving in a new way, and you're adapting and you're strong and you're all the things that you need to be. Because just like everything that you need shows up, those qualities in you show up as well.
Mhm.
And so that's really the big takeaway for me this week.
All right. Very good. Well, thanks for joining today, and, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you back here next week. Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.